Well, hi, Melanie.
Hi, Kevin.
Are you ready for this?
Well, I guess yes.
I got my backup with me this time. Look out. Anyway, welcome to episode 23 of Keeping It Magical with Kevin. I'm Kevin and Melanie. And we are going on tonight for several reasons. We are unveiling our shirts that I had made for us. Keeping it, it's K&M, Keeping It Magical. And then showing the back, because her back looks better than mine. It says Kevin and Melony Keeping It Magical.
Can you see it?
So that's pretty cool. I got some shirts made for us, and it's the same. It's a picture of the logo up there, and we really are. We really have started something beautiful, Keeping It Magical, and I really have our writing has been shared. I got on and looked. It was 188,000 times in the last 28 days. It's hit our writings, between mine and her writings, they've hit 188,000 pages in the last 28 days. It's just remarkable, the responses that we've gotten. And, we want to thank everybody for the comments and the well wishes and people joining our pages and sharing our work, which we really do want people to share our work. That's the reason we do it. We were never,
Well, I think one of the things to me that I love about the fact that, it will only show us the last 28 days, and clearly we've had this page for more than 28 days, so that
Right.
number reached is just in half of basically the time that we've had the page.
Right.
But it's 100% organic.
Well, I actually looked up the last 7 days, and we've hit 88,000 pages in the last 7 days with over 13,000 responses. And that's just unbelievable to considering what, we literally haven't advertised.
It's
we've
100% organic.
by
We have
putting
not
our
spent
work
not
out there.
one penny on Facebook ads or boosts or anything. It's 100% organic.
With that being said, before we get started with all the what happened this morning and all that, my week I've been out of work, so I've got to take Melanie and Cammy to school and pick up Cammy, and then after school
Kevin.
after school we've been going to Bachauer and hanging out there for a while and playing. Me and Cammy have been playing, and it really has been a great bonding time for me and Cammy. And I really did enjoy that, but I had a doctor's appointment today, so Gmail had to pick her up, which I'm sure she didn't mind doing. But it has been a good bonding time with me and the little one, and I kind of let. It was almost like I knew something was coming. I got a little depressed this morning, I think, or something got to me. Something was bothering me this morning, and we had a kind of talk, and you got kind of emotional, and I got kind of emotional, and we don't. I think the last thing we want to ever do is hurt each other, or ever want to make the other one think that this isn't what we want. And I was feeling something was coming, and I wrote a poem this morning, and I used a Mimi. It's a Mimi written by, I want to get it right. The last name is I can't even remember now. But anyway, it was a thing about help me out here. Overthinking. Which Kevin does a lot of.
During our first conversation, or maybe the second day, I was like, just calm down.
Yeah, calm down. Kevin overthinks a lot.
Don't overthink. Go with the flow.
And Kevin still overthinks a lot, but she gets that, and she understands it. She knows how to communicate with me about it, which is important. I needed somebody that could do that. But immediately after I posted it, I got slammed, saying that I was plagiarizing not only the Mimi, but the poem that I had written was a plagiarized poem. And that's where I lost it. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I just wrote that poem. And so it went on for a little bit. I was trying to defend myself and, tell them that I picked this meme up off the internet. It had no author's name on it. I never put my name on it trying to say that I wrote it. Nothing to the effect. I put our hashtag on there to identify keeping it magical. So, with that being said, I got hit with about 4 or 5 people that they were just waiting for this to happen. I believe they've been watching our page because of its popularity, because of its growth so fast, because of us getting 188,000 views in the last 28 days. I think there was a lot of people that we had rubbed the wrong way from Creations and Beyond.
And one of the things that I've been saying the entire time is that these are the things that we have to be prepared for.
Of course we do.
Because any time in life you talk about anything that is of any sort of substance, there are going to be people who don't want you to.
No, they don't want you
to. If you can talk and you can share yourself and you can do all these things and you never have a negative comment, you never have anybody try to come at you, you never ruffle feathers, then you're not talking about anything of substance.
With that being said, I've got to say this because with what she just said, you realize I've written over 6,000 poems in the last 3 years. This doesn't happen every day. This doesn't happen all the time. This has happened because of keeping it magical. So let's get the record straight. This happened because 2 amazing people found each other. And we have a beautiful perspective on life, on relationships, on love, on how we think being in a committed relationship should be. And there's a whole lot of people out there that don't want you to hear what we have to say.
And I say, and that's okay. And I don't mean that because I think it's okay for anyone to bash you in any way. Because
right.
I will be the first one to defend you and to have your back. But I just really want to say that's okay. Because I actually kind of take it as a compliment.
Right.
Because if we weren't doing something that mattered,
right.
Nobody there wouldn't be.
They'd be like,
yeah. None of those things
attention.
wouldn't be being said. No one would be paying attention. There would be no need to even confront or even bring up those things. So in a way, thank you. You know, because that just validates to me that what we're doing is whether it's rubbing people the right way or they feel the wrong way, it's still rubbing people enough that it's making
getting the topic of the discussion
it's making
out
people
there.
think, and that means that it's something that's needed and it's something that's of substance and of.
But it did bring up more of a subject because Tracy did a good friend of mine, Tracy, who is heavily involved in these twin flame sites and all that I posted on, which she found me and Melanie on. She made a video kind of explaining what is going on with these ego driven people. And really it is they want to keep this narcissism going on their sites because it is a controversial subject that people like to argue about. There's so many people out there thinking, and they got people screwed up in the head of, we believe, on what it's like to actually meet your twin flame or meet your soulmate or meet the one who you feel like you can spend the rest of your life with.
And truthfully, we're not here to tell people who's right and who's wrong.
I'm not here to tell you I'm telling you, we tell our story because we think that that's really how it should be.
It's
when
a
you
story
meet someone.
that should be told. And if we were blessed enough to have this experience. And so I feel as if we didn't share this experience. and share that, then
we're cheating a whole lot of people out of something just beautiful.
I mean, people need an example of what it is like when two people truly
in this world
together.
With all the horror stories that are out there nowadays and all the bad stories that are out there nowadays. Isn't it refreshing to see two people that are just madly in love with each other, telling people how really they had to kind of work on themselves to be able to meet like this.
And we do it out of wanting to just encourage others and uplift others.
Not give up. To not give up that this could happen.
It's not a competition.
No, it's not a competition.
It's not a who's right, who's wrong. It's not. It's just. It's a story about just us, our lives, the things that we've learned, what we can share, and how we can
hard-learned lessons.
How we can bring people together so that together we can all collectively rebuild the loss of that human connection and that love and that belief in love.
You know, somebody told me one time, they go, Kevin, you know, I've followed your story. I know what you've been through, and it's just amazing that you can come out of there and just, you know, try to be so positive and so uplifting and so on. And she goes, well, how can you do it? Well, why do you do it? And I said, because I never want to see anybody go through what I've gone through. But I also want to make myself into this person where that never happened to me again. I would never allow myself to lower my expectations or lower my standards or lower anything that I believe that I deserve ever again. And it was going to be a lonely journey finding that one person in my life. But it was going to be worth it. And I wrote about it for 3 years. I really did. I wrote out all my hurts, my pains. And I got criticized a lot. I got told that I wasn't a good enough writer, that I should be ashamed of the stuff that I put out there, that it's elementary stuff and I was like, elementary stuff? That's great. That means anybody can read it. I love that. Mm-hmm. That it's so easy to read that anybody can get anything out of it. Something out of it. That was a compliment to me. When they said it was elementary, I was like, great. That's awesome. That means a 5th grader can read it. And I really do. I think some of my stuff a lot of a 5th grader could read. I'm proud of what I've done. I'm proud of what I've become. And I'm proud of the man that I made myself into, because if I wouldn't have done those things, I never would have found this amazing woman. And you are an amazing, amazing woman. And
you are an amazing man.
The way you have touched me, no one else could have done. I know that. And I'm sorry that I made you feel like you weren't giving me enough attention. I know you had a busy, hard week and you were very tired.
It's okay.
But no, what I will do, I want to apologize because I made kind of an idiot out of myself thinking that you don't love me when after all you've done for me, that was stupid of me. Really, you know how stupid I can get sometimes. But
don't we all? I mean, like, really.
But
like,
I do.
If you think like one moment is gonna like change the way that I feel, like, I mean, seriously.
But that's the beauty of our. She understands that I've been hurt before, that I've been let down so many times in my life, and I understand that about you too. And we always do want to encourage each other. We always do want to make sure that the other one doesn't have any doubt where our hearts are.
And I think, you know, one thing that we could talk about in this, you know, just since you brought this up, like, instead of me, like, getting defensive and getting angry and mad at you, like, how dare you say that? Like, why would you even, you know, like, maybe there was a part of me that was hurt, but it was because, oh man, I don't ever want to make him feel that way.
And that was a beauty.
So it's
once she said that to me, I was like,
it's a reaction.
What are you doing? Why are you acting this way?
That's not a defensive reaction. It's not an angry reaction. It's not a, oh my God, why do you say these stupid, like.
But I'll tell you what this is all about.
It's a response of wanting to understand what I did.
I'll tell you what this is all about. See, Kevin likes it when Melony shows affection to Kevin. And lately, Melony's been really worn out with her job, and I've been missing, some of this, the little things that we always do, the little walk by and you know, peck on the cheek or something like
I
that.
came home from work this week.
She's just too tired to do stuff like that. And it was, it was me going, okay, what's going on? Why isn't she doing that? And those stupid overthinking thoughts. And that's part of the reason I wrote the poem this morning. Because I was overthinking way too much. And
but then on my side of it, I feel like there's nothing wrong with me acknowledging that.
Right.
And going forward, even if I'm tired, just how much effort does it take for me to make sure that I do at least do those things?
Right.
If I know that they mean that much to you.
They do mean that much.
You know, and so I think really it's a matter of not defensively reacting and getting angry because someone tells you how they feel. It's looking at it and thinking, okay, why did they feel that way, and what can I do to make sure that I don't.
That's when you know you're in the right
feel
relationship.
That way again, because
when
even
somebody cares that they
wrong,
made you feel bad,
I can't say that you're
right
wrong for feeling the way that you feel. You
right.
know what I'm saying? Like, and that goes for any relationship. Like, if someone says you hurt them, you don't get to say no, I didn't.
Right.
Like,
yes, you did.
you can't tell another person how you made them feel. You may not agree with it.
And the same thing with Cammy. I've heard Cammy's feelings. When I tell her it's homework time, I hurt her feelings every time I tell her it's homework time. But I've made her, understand that it's to make her into a better person. And they call me Professor Kevin now because I do homework with Cammy, but I'm far from a professor. Just some of the second grade stuff, I'm just like, I don't get it, Melanie. Help me out here. You're the school teacher, but and Gmal helps out. Hi, Gmal. And
hi, Mom.
But what happened this morning was, and I'm gonna add this. I added it in my video this morning when I came on today.
Then we're gonna move on and. I might talk about some things, but I'm going to do it from a different
perspective. We are going to do a poem read today, but I posted 6,000 poems easy over the last 3 years. I've used a meme on almost every one of them. If I've ever posted anybody's work without their name attached to it, I did so unintentionally, and I apologize that I didn't know who created it at the time, and I use it because it inspired me to write something. I would take that, if I was that person that wrote that, I would take that as a compliment that my work inspired someone else to write something else. And not only add on to my perspective, but don't use their own perspective too. That's what creative people do. They no thought. I think you pulled up a Mark Twain statement. No thought is ever original. It is all a repetitive.
Any of the people that have been the most influential, like writers or just influencers of basically the.
We'll tell you they were influenced by someone else, by another thought, by another person.
None of them have been obsessed with worrying about whether or not someone used their material.
Right.
None of them were obsessed with, that's mine. I mean, and so in Mark Twain I went to because no one can argue with the fact that Mark Twain was a very,
one of the best.
Who doesn't? It's a household name.
Yes.
And Mark Twain actually
he was born on the same day as me, by the way.
That he wrote was actually in defense of Helen Keller because someone tried to. They tried to charge and accuse Helen Keller, of all people, with plagiarism.
Right.
And in her defense, Mark Twain wrote a statement talking about the fact that... actually, I'll just read it, because I like the way
I think it's beautiful.
It said, the kernel, the soul, let us go further and say the substance, the bulk, the actual and vulnerable material of all human utterances is plagiarism. Because there's no such thing as an original thought, an original idea, because every subject on earth has or had been pored over, written about, and analyzed. So does that mean that no original thought exists? Yes and no. Yes, there are original ways to express it, but no, there's no actual subject, idea, or philosophy that is truly original. Everything is recycled because a lot of it comes from the collective unconscious process of human growth and human evolution. Point blank.
I told you she's smart.
I I mean, I think Mark Twain.
And it's funny she pulled up Mark Twain because I don't know if you heard me. Our birthdays are the same, along with a lot of other writers and poets and all that were born on the same day as I was. I do feel like I found a gift 3 years ago, and I love sharing it. You know how much I love writing. I sit there and I get lost in it, don't I? And I do it because I touch people's lives. I've been doing it for 3 years. I haven't made any money off of it.
And before you accuse someone of plagiarism, you should probably know the difference between plagiarism and copyright infringement.
Right.
Yeah, because there's a big difference.
Like I said, if I accidentally copyrighted somebody's work, or I use somebody's work without giving them credit, my apologies. But consider it a compliment that your work inspired me to write something, because I've always added one of my poems or something with it. We added our hashtag because we are creating something very beautiful. 1,028 people. And we are going to hit our 8-week anniversary tomorrow.
But
that's amazing. And it's mainly, I think, because we came together. Our perspective on how this really should be, I think, is beautiful. And I think that's why we have 1,028 viewers. It probably would be a lot more had I not got shut down this morning by Facebook. That was a direct result because of people crying.
That's merely
over a meme, by the way.
That's merely a hurdle.
You know, when you think about the whole big picture, though, I've posted literally nothing controversial. I've posted a whole lot of beautiful things, and I just got shut down because of a meme.
But we're gonna move on now because we don't need to give any more time or any more energy to any of the negativity.
But that's why we got the share button.
Okay.
So feel free.
Right, because that's merely just an obstacle.
I know.
And merely just a hurdle, and it's not an end of the road. It's not anything that's going to stop us. It's just okay. I guess we ruffled some feathers, which means that we are talking about something of substance.
Now your mom said I don't get some of the math either. I guess what you don't see on our page, and I've kind of posted some snapshots of it. When we post in other groups, and we post from our page, whoever looks at that post, whoever reads that poem or that post gets shared or whatever, it goes towards our count, which is not on our page. Only we can see it. And that's why I've taken snapshots of it. That's why I've posted that, we have hit actually 188,000 pages. Because that's something you don't see, because not 188,000 people have seen it on our page. They've seen it created from our page, but they've seen it on other pages that allow us to share.
Okay, I'm going to try to show this just because if you can't, it might be backwards, but see, those are the kinds of things that we can see. Like how many likes or how many pages reached.
We can even see how many, the percentage of men and women, the countries they come from, the areas that they come from. Like we've got 480 from the United States and so many from Australia. And we got them from people from all over the world. But it really has been an amazing 8 weeks with Keeping It Magical. But really, we really didn't get rolling for till about the last 4 weeks. And to think that we got that many followers, that many people that have commented on our posts all over, and not only that, but a lot of our work, they don't allow us to share from our page. But we have attracted people from other pages without that share from our page. But it does affect
our
numbers.
I have to share it from my page,
right,
and he has to share it from his page.
Right.
So
that's the only way they'll let us do that, because they won't let us do reshared content, which is really not reshared content. It's our original content being shared from our page.
Facebook has a lot of rules.
It's kind of a damned if you do and damned if you don't thing. But
Which is why we're...
That kind of explains the numbers that you don't see really on our page, but we see them. And how we know that our stuff's hit that many pages. But again, we do this, I think, truly because we both love writing. We both love inspiring people. We both love hearing people going, gosh, your story is just so beautiful and so inspiring. We just love hearing your guys' story because it brings hope or whatever you get out of our page.
And it's a way of, especially like poetry is a way of writing that when people read it, people can identify with it.
Right.
Like, there's so many things that people are going through or people experience or people feel or people think about. And it's a way of just expressing things that appeals and resonates with a lot of people. Like, I mean, you can talk about human experiences and, like you might write something about something you're going through, but then someone else goes through something and they read it and it may give them hope the way that it gave you hope when you were going through what you went through when you wrote it. And I think that's the beauty of it. It's just that sharing, that understanding of that common human experience of sometimes we hurt, sometimes we're happy, sometimes, regardless of what it is that we're going through, like they're shared human experiences and human emotions. And when we remember that, we all have way more in common than we do different.
Way more.
Like that's just being able to build that and remind people of that, I think is just truly important.
I really did. I opened up my heart 3 years ago and I started pouring it out in my writing. I truly believe that it was something that I was being led to do. I found a beautiful gift that I do. I just love sharing. And I never intentionally plagiarized anybody's memes or their photos or anything like that. If you ever see anything that I don't have the author's name on or whatever, please then tell me. I will gladly put it on. But what I won't put up with is somebody coming on and attacking me on our beautiful page. On an original creation of work that I produced, that I just happened to use a meme that I didn't know the author of, that I had seen shared 1,000 times on the internet with other people's names on it, an author unknown. So I never really was sure who wrote that.
And this whole experience really made me think about something that I wrote a couple weeks ago.
Please read it.
And it really, when I wrote it,
I
wrote it about something.
But here it is.
I wrote about, I was writing about it, or writing it just about a conversation that we'd had, and then a lot of things started happening in the world where it was kind of appropriate.
Right.
And then I think this is another situation where it's just kind of appropriate.
Right.
And at first I called it, I Can't Be Angry Enough.
Right.
But I went back and changed it and called it just Consider This, because I didn't want people to think that it was really about me being angry,
right.
Because it's actually quite the opposite.
Right.
But I think it's very fitting here.
Go ahead.
It says, I can't be angry enough to calm an angry man. I can't give him the peace he needs to see the bigger plan. I can't be sad enough to make a sad man smile. I can't give him the will he needs to keep walking that last mile. I can't be greedy enough to make a greedy man give. I can't give him the desire to help improve how others live. I can't be jealous enough to help a jealous man rejoice. I can't give him the power to better use his voice. I can't be hurt enough to help a hurt man heal. I can't give him the strength to dig for what is real. I can live as an example to give hope to the lost. I can shine my light for all, no matter what the cost. I can make a decision to be an example of love. I can choose to not be part, but to walk alone and rise above. I can decide how I feel and to be the one to say, maybe if we all try it, we will see a brighter day.
Exactly. Beautiful. And that exemplifies even more, this really has been a very passionate path that I followed the last 3 years. I haven't lived in luxury. I've lived in squander. I've literally written my heart and soul out, poured it out all over the pages, and I've done a lot of healing. I deserve to find this. And this is a very beautiful, just beautiful love affair. And we share it because we really do want people to keep on believing that this happens. It happens every day. Because I know it happens every day because I've seen the responses to some of the poems that I've written. And all these tags, that's us. This is us. Johnny, Sue. I see them and I'm like, it's all around us. It happens everywhere. And it really is, people, it brings hope, it inspires. I'm not sure how I found this gift, but I thank God every day I did. And if these people that wanted to do this morning think that they're going to stop me from writing, or that they're going to make me lower my vibrations where my creativity is going to go out the window, people have tried. I've been writing every day for over 3 years. Sometimes 12 poems a day. I can literally sit here and write all day if I want to. It comes that easy.
And I think that's where just it's easy to get upset. It's easy to feel offended. It's easy to be angry.
They didn't just attack me. They attacked our beautiful page.
But I think at that point, that is the...
Don't attack my lover.
At that point, that's the time when it's the most important for us, rather than being defensive or angry or upset, to just
I will defend
to make it to say it what needs to be said, but then just let it go and remember. And just like in anything in life,
no, we'll move on.
That's when you have to really just shine your
and that's
brightest.
exactly why we came on this video.
That's when you have to shine
because
your
we're not
brightest.
going to let these people get to us. We will keep on doing what we're doing. We will keep on growing, keep it magical. And, again, we do appreciate you all sharing our work. Share, especially now that I can't for right now. But again, everything on our page is shareable. Our YouTube videos are shareable. If you haven't joined our YouTube channel, please do. That's a big one for us, and I think that we will reach a lot more people on YouTube with our videos, but also our writings. Especially my wife is, I consider myself a fairly talented writer, but my wife is an exceptional talent.
Which is different.
Well, I'm sorry, but your work could easily be and should be recognized in a lot of publications. You are a very gifted, talented person, and I wouldn't probably have been happier with anybody less than this. You are exactly what I always dreamed of and waited.
That's what we're going to focus on, and not anything else.
Exactly. We are focused on us, but we will talk about adversity and what the struggles we face, because it is part of our life, and we are telling our story. And we don't want everybody to think that it's all hunky-dory, because it's not.
Right, but it's never to put the focus on that,
right,
or to give more energy to that, or more momentum to that. It's just to let people know that these things happen, and we're going to keep on going.
But Tracy hit on it.
We are going to keep on going.
But Tracy hit on it, and it is really a bunch of narcissistic ideas that think that they can come on our page and start criticizing and lambasting us on our newly created page. You will not get away with that very long. If the people that know me and have known me for the last 3 years will know how I deal with negativity. It is removed, and you are banned from my page forever. I will not put up with it. Again, I apologize if I use anybody's pages unintentionally, and whatever it was.
See, and I think this is where we balance each other out.
Right.
Because although I'm always going to come to your defense and I'm always going to have your back, and no, I'm not going to tolerate negativity, I'm also going to use it as a springboard to just say thanks. Because now you validated the fact that we're talking about something that really matters, and now we're just going to shine brighter. So, but carry on about your business, because we got things to do.
Well, happy 8-week anniversary, Eve, to keeping it magical. Happy 13th week being married, Eve, because tomorrow will be our 13th week anniversary of being married. And then it'd be 17 weeks on. I remember every day of this. Every freaking day.
I swear, not. It's like microwave minutes versus toaster minutes.
But it really has been. What was that?
I said every time we talk about that, it's like it reminds me of my microwave minutes versus toaster minutes versus. Like preheat in the oven minutes.
If she says 3 minutes on the microwave, it will not stay on for 3 minutes. Or the toaster.
Not all time is the same. I'm just saying.
It will get checked three times.
A minute in the microwave versus a minute in the toaster versus a minute like trying to boil water.
All 3 different minutes.
They're all different. So like whenever we talk about 13 weeks or 17 weeks, it's like that. I don't know. I think that's like 17 microwave weeks or something.
It's more like 17 lifetimes, I think, we've been together. But it really has been an amazing week. And me and Cammie we spent a lot of time together out of Bach Gardens, and we got to have a lot of fun. And this is what she made this picture, and it's Camelio. I guess it's her stage kind of name, or her friend, her imaginary friend, but I told her to put her name on it because I didn't want to be charged with plagiarism. So she signed it, Cammie Girl. But I thought it was an awesome drawing, and she got a 90% on her testing this week. So she's doing amazing, catching up in her school, thanks to Gmal and teacher mom and
Professor Kevin.
Want to be Professor Kevin. But again, Kevin is blessed. His life has truly been blessed, and I don't ever want you to forget that. And sometimes I will, so just come up and say, Kevin, I love you. Kevin. You're overthinking
Kevin.
Again. But,
just calm down,
Kevin. Does
Take
overthink.
a deep breath, Kevin.
I'm up at like 3 in the morning writing all the time. I'm definitely an overthinker, but I'm in a good way most of the time. But we love you guys. Have a great weekend, and I'm sure that I
have to be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning.
She's got to be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning, so
for
maybe
awesome
sometime later on this week, maybe
yeah.
Sunday will come on, maybe Saturday. I don't know. It all depends on what I can talk her into doing. She had to come on and defend me tonight, though, because I get all kind of frustrated. But
it was just to make sure that you remember to
breathe.
Not let it affect you. Just acknowledge it and then keep it moving and let them go take it somewhere else. And we're not coming down to
Actually,
them.
these kind of things make me stronger. It builds my character, I think. I'm a character.
He is a character.
Yeah, I'm a character. We love you guys. From our characters, Melanie and Kevin, good night.
Good night.